Hey all you cool cats and kittens. Sorry, I've been watching way too much Tiger King lately. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Stimulus Bill 2.0, or the follow-up to the $2 trillion stimulus package that was passed a few weeks ago. This stimulus bill has a whole lot in it, and it is worth over $350 billion. And there's allocations for small businesses, for hospitals, and for certain individuals. So if you want to know more, stick around and watch the video. I'm going to break it down for you here. My name is Kevin Conway. I'm an attorney here in California, and I make personal finance videos like this one all the time. I've broken down the stimulus bill in my previous videos, and I've talked about unemployment insurance, the stimulus checks, and everything that you would want to know. So if you want to know more about the stimulus bill and be up to date with the latest breaking news, be sure to subscribe to this channel and give a quick like to the video. And now let's jump right into the video, and I'm going to tell you where the money is going to land. First off is the replenishment of the Paycheck Protection Program, or the PPP. So here's a quick background on the Paycheck Protection Program. The PPP allows employers to get a forgivable loan from an SBA lender. So what does that mean? Well, it essentially means you go to your bank, you ask them for a loan, and after a certain period of time, the federal government will forgive that amount of loan that you took out. And for those who think this sounds too good to be true, it really isn't. It really is a remarkable program. In fact, Mark Cuban has said it doesn't really get better than this for small businesses. What must you do for this Paycheck Protection Program? Well, you must be an employer with less than 500 employees, and you must not fire anybody for at least a few months after you get the loan, and then your loan is able to be discharged. They calculate the value of your loan, the amount that you can actually get, as follows: 2.5 times your monthly average payroll. You're able to use all of that money on payroll and other things like rent and utilities. So if I'm a company, my average monthly payroll is $100,000, I'm able to get a Paycheck Protection Program loan for $250,000. I'm able to get that fully discharged so long as I use it on payroll, rent, or utilities. And payroll includes anything having to do with payroll, including the salaries, the taxes that you pay on those to a certain point, your pension contributions, and your health care benefits. All of that wrapped into one is eligible for loan forgiveness. As you can tell, this program is absolutely remarkable. It really is the government picking up the tab of your business for a couple of months. But here's the problem. Because it was so good, the $350 billion allocated in the last stimulus bill was exhausted right away. This latest stimulus bill actually replenishes the Paycheck Protection Program loan for up to $310 billion. So that's really the key piece of this stimulus bill, and it's a great thing for everybody out there because, as anyone is aware, people are losing their jobs at a rapid rate. And because this PPP requires the people who take the loan out, the employers, to not fire anybody if they want their loans discharged, well, this is a good way to keep people on payroll. But because they are replenishing this loan program and way more people know about it, and lenders are now set up to be able to efficiently take new applications, expect this money in the Stimulus Bill 2.0 to go very, very quickly. Last time, that amount of money in the Paycheck Protection Program loan was exhausted within around 2 weeks, but there were all sorts of problems trying to get that money out. Lenders were not set up to actually accept applications. They didn't know what documentation to require from people requesting it. They didn't know anything. But now a lot of those kinks are worked out, and expect this money to go very, very quickly. People are actually accepting applications now. Banks are accepting applications, and people have been experiencing a lot better luck going with smaller lenders as opposed to the giant lenders out there because they get more personal service and they're able to get their loan proceeds a lot faster than they would otherwise. Speaking from personal experience, I actually obtained one of these Paycheck Protection Program loans for one of our 2 companies. We were able to get it for one company but not the other because of delays in processing, but we did get the funds, and it really is as good as it possibly can get. So if you have a business out there, or you're an employee of a business that may be struggling in some way, be sure to mention or follow up on this PPP program. It is going to be replenished. I would start the process right now. I would contact your lenders right now. If you don't have a lender, I would get a smaller lender, a more regional bank. They tend to move quicker, and I would get the process going now. The application is online. It's incredibly simple. It just asks you a few simple questions. It calculates your loan amount, and then you certify that you're not a felon, you're going to use this for payroll, rent, utilities, other things like that, and then you just kind of move forward, you get the loan proceeds, and you're off to the races. One additional point about the Stimulus Bill 2.0 and the PPP loan program is that while they are allocating $310 billion to it, they are specifically setting aside $60 billion for minority-owned businesses and businesses in rural areas of the country. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more regulation defining what qualifies in each one of those categories, but they are earmarking that amount of money for those groups because last time, frankly, they were crowded out because a lot of these businesses weren't able to get served. They didn't have lenders that served their needs right away, and boom, all of the PPP funds were exhausted. I mean, Ruth Chris Steakhouse actually got a PPP loan for over $20 million, and they're a national steakhouse, and that kind of shows you how the program was functioning. The big guys were able to get their money right away, and a lot of the smaller guys were not able to get their money right away. But be sure, if you're a business owner, to actually line up right now because the funds will be exhausted quickly, but you will be able to get it if you move now. You're able to get the PPP loan if current economic uncertainty makes this loan necessary to support your ongoing operations, which of course is very, very broad language, and every business needs money to keep going. And if you've suffered some downturn, this loan is something you're able to take advantage of. So what else is in Stimulus Bill 2.0? Well, you have $60 billion allocated for the EIDL, or Emergency Injury Disaster Loan Program, which is that famous program you may have heard about that gives grants of $10,000 immediately to businesses that qualify. If you're an independent contractor or self-employed, this program in particular is going to be interesting to you because you're able to get a completely forgivable $10,000 grant to you if you qualify under the EIDL. This program is being replenished, so be sure to line up right away. It also is offered through the SBA, so be sure to get your application in and ready to go. Also in this bill is $75 billion for hospitals. Now this is pretty interesting. If you're out there and you're wondering, why do hospitals need $75 billion? I thought they were jam-packed. Well, they are, but only for certain procedures, the COVID-related procedures, not the elective procedures. A lot of these hospitals out there operate only because they're able to get a lot of elective procedures done at their hospitals, and they make money as a result. But because you're not allowed to do any elective procedures right now, a lot of these hospitals are actually suffering. And because we don't want hospitals closing during this pandemic, they are allocating $75 billion to support a lot of these regional and local and rural hospitals. Also in the bill is $25 billion for additional testing of people who may have symptoms of the disease. And this is a really good thing because if we get the economy going again, it's only going to be because we're able to differentiate between those who have the disease and those who do not. And those who do not have the disease are able to go to work and be productive and support the economy. So this $25 billion is going to be allocated so that we can do more and more and more testing, because testing informs results, which can guide guidelines. And just last week, President Trump rolled out a new plan to start opening the country in phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. A lot of the country right now is not anywhere close to Phase 1, but they will be in the coming weeks, I'm sure. Different states, more rural areas, are going to be able to open their areas for business a lot quicker than more densely populated areas like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. And so this $25 billion for additional testing is going to serve that purpose. We're going to be able to determine which areas of the country are at lower risk for opening and spreading infection than other parts of the country because we're able to do more testing. So those are the key things that are in the bill. Now, what is not in the bill that you're going to want to know? You may have been hearing about the $2,000 per month stimulus check that you may be receiving. Well, unfortunately, nothing in this bill has money for additional stimulus checks, and certainly nothing in the bill has it for ongoing monthly stimulus checks. So that $2,000 a month that you may have been hearing about isn't going to happen, at least this time, but it may soon, or some additional form of new stimulus checks may be coming out in the future. Congress has been talking about rolling out additional stimulus bills. So if you want to stay up to date, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that I can bring you the latest news. Also, there's not any money for state and local governments in this bill. They've been talking about this. The Democrats wanted additional funding for state and local governments that have been particularly hard hit by the complete lack of business activity, but nothing in this bill is actually going to serve that end. So I want to know what you guys think about this stimulus bill, or what your ideas would be for new stimulus programs. What do you think would actually solve the economic crisis that is looming in our country right now? Leave it in the comments below. I love reading all of the comments, and I try to respond to as many as I possibly can. So let me know your ideas or your thoughts about this bill. Also, I want to touch on a few additional updates to the stimulus bill and the rollout of this program. If you're still waiting for your stimulus check, be sure to look at my other video, but here is what you need to know. If you are waiting for your stimulus check, you need to go to the website and actually input your information. Go to the IRS website for either filers or non-filers. I will have a link in my description of this video. You need to enter your information there if you want your stimulus check faster as opposed to later on. The Treasury has actually indicated that the physical mailing of checks is going to be delayed. So if you want your money now, be sure to input your information on the IRS website. Additionally, if you're waiting on unemployment insurance, just know that in the next week or two, you should be getting your check with that additional money in it. That is what all of the states have been saying. Some states have rolled it out already. Some states are a little bit behind. So just try to stay patient, realize you will get back pay, and just realize that when the new states start rolling out their applications for independent contractors or self-employed individuals, fill it out right away and try to get it in, because the sooner you do so, the sooner you'll get your money. So that's about all I gotta say. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Let me know whether or not you think Carol Baskin killed her husband. She definitely did. And let me know if you have any questions about the stimulus bill 2.0 or any ideas you have for the stimulus bill or any videos in the future. Now remember, my name is Kevin Conway. I make videos like this all the time. Give a like to the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Stay healthy out there, and I'll see you next time.